Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unlocking the exact step-by-step roadmap to becoming a Virginia Notary Public. So if you've ever thought about adding a super valuable credential to your resume, or maybe you just want to step into a role that genuinely serves the public, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it.
Now, you might be asking yourself, why become a Virginia notary in the first place? Well, the perks are actually fantastic. Becoming a notary offers incredibly flexible working conditions, and it opens up brand new career paths and side hustle opportunities. Plus, you get to do a lot more than just stamp pieces of paper. You literally become an essential public servant. You're acting as a frontline defender against actual fraud in critical everyday transactions. Think real estate conveyances and estate planning. It's a big deal.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is a quick look at our agenda. We'll be covering eligibility and getting started, application steps and costs, education and exam requirements, claiming your official commission, your duties and guidelines, and finally, resources for your notary journey. All right, Section 1, eligibility and getting started. Let's see if you qualify to get the ball rolling. To even apply, you need to check a few basic boxes. You must be at least 18 years old, a legal resident of the United States, and you've got to be able to fluently read and write English. You also need a clean record, meaning absolutely no unpardoned felony convictions under federal or state laws. But here is a really interesting twist. You don't actually have to live in Virginia to be a Virginia notary. Seriously, if you live in a neighboring state, say Maryland or North Carolina, but you are regularly employed in Virginia and you perform notary services connected to that job, you are completely eligible to apply. Moving right along to Section 2, application steps and costs. We're going to break down this 4-step workflow. This whole process is broken down into 4 pretty straightforward steps. First up, you'll create an online application using the state's notary management portal. And here is a pro tip for you. It is absolutely crucial. Make sure the name you type exactly matches your state-issued ID, literally right down to the punctuation. Next, you'll pay the state fee. Third, and this one always makes people chuckle, you have to print that application and take it to a current traditional Virginia notary to have your signature physically wet-signed and notarized. Yep, you actually need a notary to become a notary. And finally, you just drop that completed notarized application in the mail to the notary office down in Richmond. So let's talk numbers. What's this going to cost? The core expense here is a $45 non-refundable state application fee, and that's made payable to the Treasurer of Virginia. You can pay this super easily online with a credit card when you're generating the application, or you can kick it old school and mail in a check or money order. Oh, and keep in mind, you'll also need to shell out a small fee to the notary who actually notarizes your application signature. By law, they can charge a maximum of $10 for that physical notarial act, so all in, it's a very affordable investment. Next up is Section 3, education and exam requirements, and you'll definitely want to pay attention to these upcoming changes. Okay, so we are currently in the middle of some massive legislative shifts here. Historically, Virginia has been what's called a self-certifying state with virtually zero required training. But that is changing rapidly, mostly to combat things like real estate deed fraud. Starting July 1st, 2026, mandatory paper journals and strict vendor checks for buying your official seal are going to take effect. Then, on July 1st, 2027, the really big shift happens. All new notary applicants will have to complete a mandatory 4-hour education course. And that course includes at least 1 full hour specifically focused on spotting real estate fraud and the financial exploitation of the elderly. Plus, you'll have to pass a written state exam. Now, if you get commissioned before 2027, you get to bypass this initial exam. But don't forget, you will still be subject to a 2-hour continuing education course when it's time to renew 4 years later. All right, on to Section 4, claiming your official commission. It's time to take your oath. After you mail everything in, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the Secretary of the Commonwealth to process your paperwork. Once you're approved, the state will send a notice to your preferred address or email. And this notice, which is guided by the ultimate authority on your new role, the official handbook for Virginia Notaries Public, tells you it's officially time to claim your commission. But here's the thing. You don't just get a certificate mailed to your house. No way. You actually have to go in person to your local city or county circuit court, specifically the one you picked on your application, to raise your right hand and take your official oath of office. Now, please listen carefully to this warning because it trips people up all the time. You have exactly 60 days from the date your commission is issued to get down to that circuit court, take your oath, and pay a $10 fee to the clerk. If you fail to claim it within those 60 days, your commission becomes completely invalid. Poof, gone.
And the state is incredibly strict about this. Missing the deadline is not excused for any reason. Seriously, not even if the post office lost your notice in the mail. If you miss that 60-day window, you literally have to start the whole process over from scratch. New application, another $45 fee, the whole shebang. So keep an eye on your inbox. Moving to Section 5, Duties, Guidelines, and Updates. Let's look at the post-commission rules you need to follow. So your very first step after getting commissioned is buying your official stamp. And remember, as of July 2026, you've got to show actual proof of your active commission to a vendor just to buy it. Once you have that seal in hand, there are some strict rules. Every single document you notarize must have a sharp, legible, and photographically reproducible seal. No smudges allowed. Furthermore, that new July 2026 mandate means you have to maintain a bound, physical journal of all your paper-based notarial acts and hold on to it for 5 full years. This is a massive step in preventing fraud. Another big change, the state is removing personal knowledge as a valid way to ID someone. You must now rely strictly on satisfactory ID evidence, like a driver's license, even if it's your best friend. Finally, keep your pricing in check. You can charge a maximum of $10 for a traditional paper-based notarial act. Now, if you want to bring your notary business into the digital age, you have this really exciting option to become an electronic notary or an e-notary. The rule here is that you must hold a valid commission as a traditional paper notary first. You can't skip that step. But once you have it, you can buy a digital certificate and an electronic seal, and then submit a separate e-notary application along with another $45 fee. So what's the financial upside to doing all this? Well, while traditional acts are capped at $10, electronic notaries can charge up to $25 per act. It's an absolutely fantastic way to modernize your services and expand your earning potential. Let's bring it home with Section 6, Resources for Your Notary Journey. Where to find support during your term. You are never alone during your 4-year commission term, and it's super important to know exactly where you can turn for support. If you run into weird administrative hiccups, like, say, a missing hyphen in your name is preventing you from linking your online profile, you can reach out directly to the Secretary of the Commonwealth at notary@governor.virginia.gov. The Online Notary Management System, or NMS, is your main hub for tracking your application. Your local circuit courts are your go-to for checking if your commission actually arrived for pickup. And finally, professional organizations like the National Notary Association, the NNA, offer invaluable hotline support and supply packages to help guide you through those really tricky or unusual notarization. So, what does this all mean for you? As we look at the road ahead, stepping into this role means you're not just boosting your professional credentials, you're opening doors to totally flexible no-income streams. But more than that, you're actively participating in the legal framework that keeps our commerce moving smoothly and securely. It is an incredibly rewarding path for those willing to take it. Before we officially wrap up, just a quick disclaimer. The information presented in this explainer is based on regulations as of July 28, 2026. Because laws are actively evolving, especially with all those sweeping mandates we talked about earlier, always verify details directly with official state resources so you can be totally sure you're fully compliant. With all that in mind, I want to leave you with this one question. Are you ready to step up, unlock those new income streams, and protect your community from fraud? The path to becoming a Virginia notary is officially waiting for you.